Speaking of presentation, let's throw up that score, or that intro card. Is that you, Romulan dog? Is that you? No, just kidding. Nobody's in here with me. I'm just crazy. Anyways, here we have it. TlaxtlanSoothsayer with the Greenskins going up against XMT Felkon, the undefeated player so far in today's playoffs. And he's bringing the Empire. And this is round one of their best of 7 final. That's right, you heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 7. And keep in mind, if Soothsayer is able to pull this off, he will have to defeat Felkon in a sudden death blind pick match. Just a little best of 1 to reset that bracket. Now, starting with Soothsayer and his Greenskins, Maker Total War, thank you so much for the follow. Yes, let's get to $2,000 next final. I hope I don't eat my words and end up spending way too much out of pocket, but I have faith in us, chat. Let's raise $2,000, so thank you, Maker Total War. We have goblins, 1, 2, 3 of them on that front line. We have the 8 peak loonies, and then we're going to see them backed up by Savage Orc Biggins, single unit of regular Orc Biggins, and then 2 Goblin Wolf Rider archers. Yeah, if Felkon wins the best of 7, it's just game. Now, so far the connectivity looks good, thank God. Keep praying, people. Keep knocking on all the wood around you, and we'll do that. I do need to buy a new computer. Maybe let's make the goal 3,000 and I'll keep 1,500 for a new computer. Anyways, Orc Boar Boys and Orc Boar Boy Biggins on that left flank, and then on the right flank, looks like we're going to have 2 Orc Boar Boy Biggins and a regular old Orc Boar Boy. Beautiful, beautiful greenskin army so far. I'm liking it a lot. We're going to have the Hero Squad, which is going to consist of Skarsnik, a Goblin Big Boss on foot with They Need Stabbin', an Orc Shaman with Here We Go for a huge melee attack buff to allies in range, and Brain Burster with Power of the Wa. Now, Skarsnik will have the Fermented Fungi in spite of the Bad Moon. I do believe that rounds out our Greenskin army, so let's take a look at the Empire, who has deployed Kitty Corner to them. And this Empire army is going to be very, very fast. Going to have just a couple spearmen here with shields, so 3 of them. Got the Sigmar Sons, and then you have a 4th spearman back here. Looks like this one does not even have the shields as the front 3 do. Now, for the skirmish potential, we have 3 Pistoliers here on the left flank. My blue line drawing is not on point, as you can see. Going to have some Empire Knights here and here. And then we're going to have a 3rd one here with 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun, those beautiful Knights in black armor with the flaming lances. Now, for the heroes, we're going to have a Jade Wizard bringing Earthblood, Bright Wizard bringing Burning Head and Kindle Flame, and then we have Karl Franz with Galmaraz, the Reichland Runefang, Stand Your Ground, Foe Seeker, as well as Hold the Line and Blood Roar. So he's all decked out, ready to get into combat. And I like that Kindle Flame is here. It will help synergize well with these Knights of the Blazing Sun. So Felkon going with a very mobile, very expensive army, and Soothsayer going with a more balanced build. And we'll see which one comes out on top. I think the Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Empire Knights will have their hands full, since there's 3 Orc Boar Boy Biggins on the field and 2 Orc Boar Boys, all of which have armor piercing. The Biggins obviously have anti-large, yeah, that means they can be utilized very effectively against Empire Heavy Knights, and we've seen that done in the tournaments previous. I think Kark brought a very heavy greenskin cav build against the Empire and had good things work out for him. Over here, though, the Empire playing it smart. Felkon just going to eliminate some goblins, some lowly goblins. Every little bit counts. Got an easy terror route, and he should be able to eliminate all 300 of those points if he stays on top of them. But here comes a counter charge by the Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Savage Orcs are in there. Savage Orc Biggins are in there too, and Karl Franz is immediately going to turn around, I think, recognizing, like, wait a minute, this is actually not a good engagement for me to be a part of. Knights of the Blazing Sun taking some damage as their formation is quite spread around, and Empire Knights diving in, but look at this. Orc Boar Boys with the Savage Orc Biggins diving through, but a Burning Head hitting here and doing some big damage on those Biggins, and it looks like they're going to do some big damage on the 8 peak loonies too, but also some big animal damage through the Empire State Troops too. Oh man, that Burning Head just burned so much indiscriminately. It was devastating to both sides of the battlefield here. But looking at the cav engagements now, let's see how they're going. Looks like Greenskins having some terror trouble. But over here where their leadership is, looks like they have gotten a lot of damage done to these Empire Knights, and even on top of some of the wizards. So if the Greenskins play it smart, maybe this could be a time for a fermented fungi, get one of these casters to dive into their death. But yeah, there goes the wall. But now look at this, the Empire's Cav has gotten the advantage. Over here, Orc Boy Biggins, though, do have a wall popped on top of them. They're in combat with the remnants of some tattered Empire Knights, but here come the reinforcements in the form of the Knights of the Blazing Sun and Karl Franz, and these Orc Boy Biggins are seeing that combat turn against them in quite a serious way. But Skarsnik is on his way in. It's going to be a little bit too late, though, and it looks like the Empire Cav and Karl Franz will be able to run away from him with some impunity. Over here in this combat, we're going to see the Savage Orc Biggins and the Goblins doing just fine against the Empire's Spearmen. Spearmen really don't stand a chance in this fight, but they're buying time, and I think if the Greenskins would shift their focus to chasing down these casters the Empire brought that are on foot, keep in mind, they could do really, really good things. But look at this, a burning head coming through right down the center of the Savage Orc Biggins and did quite a lot of damage. Man, these burning heads have been absolute playmakers for the Greenskins. Over here, we're going to see a Brain Burster, though. Now the Greenskins' turn for some punishing magic against the Empire forces. And the Greenskins pouring a lot of people into this center combat, a lot of resources. But the Sigmar Sons being here is really a boon to the leadership of the state troops. And I'm not sure if it's going to turn out too well for the Greenskins in the end. But Skarsnik is in here, still doing very well. Orc Shaman still healthy. Goblin Big Boss still healthy. And Spite of the Bad Moon doing some nice work for these Greenskin blob engagements as everybody gets that bonus versus large. Meanwhile, on the peripheries here, it looks like the Empire's Pistoliers got a bit greedy, trying to chase Greenskin units off perhaps, and the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers have turned the tables on them, routing one of them, one shattered, and this one looks like he may be routing two. Another one just off the map. Meanwhile, we're going to see Orc Boy Biggins diving into the Empire Cav. I think that's a wise decision, not because they're going to win it, but you can't outrun them more than likely, so you might as well get a good charge off and go down with the fight while these Wolf Rider Archers lay down some damage. Over here, Brain Burster continuing to eliminate the remaining state troops, and the Greenskins, although they've lost the cavalry combat at this point, it looks to me that they're winning the infantry combat, no surprises there. And as long as they can, continue to stay in a close formation, stay tight, then really they have the opportunity here to win the game. But when I say tight, I have to check myself. Remember, not too tight, because this Bright Wizard has been punishing tight formations this entire battle. And once again, I have to shout out that I think the Greenskins, they have fermented fungi, they have some tools in their kit, and they really should have focused on eliminating some of these archers, or these casters, the wizards. Over here, going to see that the Savage Orc Biggins are regrouping, coming back to the fray. The Greenskins are moving towards their Empire counterparts. And time to see what happens. Looks like the Goblins are getting sent out by themselves for the moment to get on top of the Spearmen. Fermented fungi going down on top of these Empire Knights. And even looks like a Wazin get popped for that immune to psychology, which will be absolutely clutch in this engagement, because Karl Franz's biggest tool here is going to be terror routing, and as long as this Waz popped, no terror is going to kick in, and it's allowing the Greenskins to get in that formation, get a lot of infantry involved, and the Empire Cav is starting to fade away. And this is the part where, if the Greenskins play it right, if they can kill off Karl Franz, then this could still go in their favor, even though the balance of power is against them. Over here, Empire Cav starting to run away, and the Greenskin Wolf Rider Archers absolute MVPs right here, as they are continuing to apply ranged pressure for that leadership penalty, and also just to continue harrying these routing state troops. Over here, Karl Franz coming back in. He is an absolute monster, but it looks like the Jade Wizard may get eliminated here. Earthblood upgraded going down, though, before he started to rout, so that's a huge bonus for them. And oh no, Skarsnik getting eliminated! A huge play, the Empire winning the game from there for sure, as Skarsnik just got dominated by Karl Franz. I don't know if that happened earlier and I was just not paying attention, but it seems like it just went from 100 to 0 like that, and Karl just murdered Skarsnik in that blob engagement. That was insanity. I thought the Greenskins actually really had it there, but just goes to show what some good Karl Franz plays can do. And a ton of damage going in there. Soothsayer going to lose that after a very close fight. And yeah, that was really unexpected, at least for me, the caster. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but it looked really good for him. I do have to say that fermented fungi, I didn't like where it was used. The Empire Knights, I love Soothsayer, and he's so much better than I'll ever be, but I do not understand why that fermented fungi went down on some Empire Knights when it should have hit Karl Franz. If it hit Karl Franz at the beginning there, number one, yeah, he's on the ground, right? Because he's rampaging. That's important. That's nice. But number two, he doesn't get to pop the Reichland, Rumping, Garl Maraz, stand your ground. You know, he's rampaging. And so you could prevent all of those buffs from going in. I just am really confused why the fermented fungi at the very end there was used on one of the Empire Knights and not on Karl Franz. Maybe I'm being too harsh on that call, but I do think, in spite of how crazy it was that Karl Franz could snipe Skarsnik out of a blob, which was really surprising to me, I don't think he would have had that opportunity if the fermented fungi had been on top of him instead of the other units. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to round two. So, just to refresh our memories, there you have it. It's going to be TlaxtlanSoothsayer bringing the High Elves this time versus XMT Felkon with the Greenskins. Now, round two of this best of three, and it is currently Felkon in the lead 1-0. So we'll see what happens here as they get into the battle map, which is going to be Wyvern Lake. Factions in the first map were Greenskins versus Empire. Soothsayer brought Greenskins. Smith, thank you so much for the subscription. You bastard, I love you. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the High Elf army first. Now, looks like we're going to have some Phoenix Guard, folks. We're going to have some Phoenix Guard, some Lothran Sea Guard, and 4 White Lines of Trace. Looks like the High Elves are going to be opting for a forest battle by the looks of it, since these White Lines of Trace do enjoy fighting in the woods. And, yeah, gaining melee attack and defense advantages. They can also run through trees. Now, 3 Phoenix Guard. Those 2 Lothran Sea Guard, as we mentioned earlier, they're just going to be the regular variant. Now, in the back line, we're going to have an Illyrian Reaver. And as I'm sure you just heard and saw, we got a Flamespire Phoenix. And then, supporting that Flamespire Phoenix in the air, we're going to have Alariel the Radiant, Star of Averlorn, as well as Arcane Conduit and Earthblood. There it is. This is, yeah, he'll have to move but as long as he attacks with his archers, he'll be okay. Now, when it comes out to the Greenskins, Greenskins are going to have a lot of range skirmishing. They're going to have Forest Goblin Spider Rider archers, 1, 2, and 3. They're going to have 2 Goblin Wolf Rider archers. Got 8 Peak Loonies. We're going to have Black Orcs and 2 Stone Trolls here in the forest. We're going to have Goblins, looks like 2 of them, sitting on 2 Rock Lobbers, which are going to be absolutely key to the Greenskins' victory in this battle, if they want to utilize those to punish the High Elf infantry from the far long ways away. We have Giant River Trollhag. One of them has Mither, as well as the Overwhelming Odor with the Salt of Stone and Spirit Leech. The other one is going to have Aspect of the Dread Knight, Mither, Assault of Stone, and Overwhelming Odor. He's going to have Grom the Paunch for the Lucky Banner and the Language of the Boys. And it looks like that's going to round out our Greenskin army. Now, as long as both players are firing and expending ammunition, it is attacking. The Greenskins are using their artillery to fulfill the attacking rule and are sitting back, just kind of waiting for the High Elves to come to them. That is definitely the right decision. And it looks like the High Elves are going to fulfill the attacking rule by pushing out Lothran Sea Guard to shoot the Greenskin forces. So if Felkon chooses, he could continue falling back further while his artillery forces the High Elves forward. But does look like the Lothran Sea Guard are going to get a chance to move forward. And actually, they're not even going to try to force the forest engagement. High Elves here, led by Soothsayer, are all going to come out at once. There go the Loons, which were nicely dodged by the Lothran Sea Guard. There, both players showing some very adept micro. Over here, looks like the very tail end of them's going to catch them, but not do much damage. And yeah, those rock lobbers are getting some good work done. The Lothran Sea Guard are going to start trading fire with the Forest Goblin Spider Rider archers. Phoenix Guard are going to continue pushing forward. Grom the Paunch is coming out to play. And I like the Flamespire Phoenix here. The fire damage will have to make Grom and the River Troll Hags think, you know, play it smart. Otherwise, they may get, you know, burnt by this Flamespire Phoenix, and they don't like that damage. But there goes Spirit Leech on top of Alariel the Radiant. Lothran Sea Guard are wavering and getting ready to rout by the looks of it. Going to see these Lothran Sea Guard taking a ton of damage, but Phoenix Guard getting on top of Goblin Wolf Rider archers and doing a ton of damage before they turn around and start to run away. And, you know, this fight may very well just be determined by the infantry combat. And over here, looks like these White Lines of Trace are taking a ton of damage, but you're also seeing Phoenix Guard get involved, and Phoenix Guard are quite tanky indeed. And we'll see what ends up happening here. Flamespire Phoenix looks like it's going troll hunting. Over here, Assault of Stone is going down, and the... Oh no, that's a lot of high elf infantry that's going to get caught in it. Oh my god. That was devastating to the Phoenix Guard. Those Phoenix Guard just took so much damage. And man, oh man, that is painful to see that much damage going down so quickly. Yeah, White Lines of Trace, once again, just not doing the best. Star of Averlorn going down, though, on top of two Phoenix Guard, one of which is not doing the best, the one that took the brunt of that Assault of Stone. The other one doing a lot better, however. Alariel diving into Grom the Paunch and doing some decent damage. The Flamespire Phoenix is still on the ground in combat. That Star of Averlorn doing a ton to help them out. Phoenix Guard taking another loon, though, and man, seems like the High Elf Infantry isn't doing the best right now. We're seeing the Illyrian Reavers trying to pressure the back line coming in here, and it does look like the left flank of the High Elves is doing okay for itself. If the Flamespire Phoenix survives, and it looks like he is going to be able to get back into the air, then maybe the High Elves can get something working here with the last units of Phoenix Guard and White Lines of Trace they have on the left flank, but their right flank has good and well been crushed. And yeah, this is going to be very important engagements if the High Elves want to try to bring this back in their corner, is shutting down all of the backline units that the Greenskins have here, and they have a chance to do it. The Black Orcs and the Stone Trolls are way out of position in terms of this backline engagement, and so if the High Elves have enough time to clean this up and get regrouped, maybe, you know, taking off two pieces of artillery in the backline engagements is going to help the balance of power. Kuriashike, thank you very much for the follow, my friend. Much appreciated. And we have not seen any of the bombs popped from the Flamespire Phoenix, so we'll see what happens there. There goes another Earthblood on top of the High Elf units, trying to get them healed back up to a decent state. A Spirit Leech is going down, though. Looks like it's hitting... What is it hitting? The Flamespire Phoenix? Yep, Flamespire Phoenix getting a Spirit Leech on top of itself. But balance of power is really against the High Elves at this point, and it's just looking pretty rough. Felkon really seeming to be on his A game. That's going to be a concession once again, and Felkon is up 2-0 in this best of 7. Yeah, that Assault of Stone. Vicious, vicious stuff. The double River Troll Hag play, haven't seen that before, but all three of those Greenskin heroes have regeneration. So obviously going to make it difficult to eliminate completely, even with the fire damage of like a Flamespire Phoenix. Yeah, that was a tough one. I'm trying to think of what could have been done differently, but all in all, I think Felkon just played that very well. The artillery to pull the High Elves to him. The abilities to punish blobs of elite infantry or anything that, you know, clump around Stone Trolls or the heroes. That Assault of Stone was absolutely vicious. And, yeah. Also having the aspect of the Dread Knight to imbue terror on top of units. A very nice play since there's nothing that naturally causes terror here. So, yeah, across the board, I think Felkon just played that one very nicely. And Soothsayer, I don't know. I didn't see what the Illyrian Reavers were doing a lot of the battle, so that leads me to think that maybe they weren't being too actively used. But I'd have to check the replay to make sure. But all in all, not my favorite High Elf build. I think he had some plays that were working out nicely for him, but then I think an overcommitment to the right flank and maybe not fully appreciating the danger from the River Troll Hags with those Assault the Stones. It did a heinous amount of damage. I wasn't expecting it to do that much damage, but Assault the Stone, nothing to joke about. Those rocks murder Phoenix Guard. But without further ado, here we are. Soothsayer with SKAVEN taking on Felkon and the High Elves. Round 3. It is currently 2-0 for Felkon in this best of 7 final for the Season 6 playoffs. Now, starting with the High Elves this time, and being led by Felkon, looks like we're going to have 3 Illyrian Reaver archers. He's going to have himself some silver helms, make it 4, and then he's going to have 4 rangers. Oh, Felkon, 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 Felkon. You dirty, dirty boy. Bringing 2 nobles on chariots. Each of them will be naked. And then we have Alariel up in the air with Earthblood, Arcane Conduit, Star of Averlorn, the Boon of Isha, and the Shield of Safari. Man, that immune to psychology trait is pretty nuts. So, taking a look at the SKAVEN right now, who do outnumber their opponents over 2-1. So, let's see what is in that. I'm sure an ample supply of SKAVEN slaves. Looks like we have 2 Clanrat spears, 2 SKAVEN slaves. We're going to have ourselves... Okay. Fine, Soothsayer, do that to me. Okay, so 5 units of SKAVEN slaves. Then we're going to have SKAVEN slave spears. I could have sworn there was 2 of them, but maybe I'm just insane. Now, from there, we have Clanrat spears. Looks like we're going to have 4 of them. And then the Council Guard Storm Vermin, these unbreakable Storm Vermin with halberds. Going to have 2 Rat Ogres on the field. And then a Helped Abomination, which I swore I saw just a moment ago. So, let's see where it went. And there she is. There she blows. That beautiful, beautiful monstrosity. Now, 2 units of Warp Lightning Cannons will be in this SKAVEN formation. And then for the leadership, we have a SKAVEN Assassin. Going to have a Hunter's Trophy, as well as Slippery, and the Concealment Bomb, of course. A Warlock Engineer, going to be bringing with him Flensing Ruin, as well as the Warpstone Armor. Don't see this one brought too often, so I'm curious to see how it fares. Now, last but never least, we have Lord Skrolk, the Liber Babonicus, Rod of Corruption, Stand Your Ground, Vermintide, along with Aura Pestilence and Plague Rash. These Warp Lightning Cannons are going to have to work overtime here. And, yeah, so looks like the SKAVEN formation getting turned around, getting those Warp Lightning Cannons on target. And, yeah, both of these players are going to have the work cut out for them. Felkon is going to have a very micro-intensive battle ahead of themselves. 4 Silver Helms. You definitely want to get your value there. 900 a piece, so definitely going to be a heavy investment. And Soothsayer, his micro is going to be stretched very much too, because these SKAVEN slaves up in the front line and the Clanrat spears, he's going to have to be bouncing back and forth with Rat Ogres, Helped Abominations, and the heroes just non-stop if he wants to shut down a cycle charge to death from the High Elves, because 4 Silver Helms are going to have a field day against all this SKAVEN infantry. In fact, I do wish that the SKAVEN player had a few more Rat Ogres, as those are a very nice answer to Silver Helms and units like that, as long as they can avoid just doing a toe-to-toe charge. Yeah, amazing RNG. I mean, one thing for sure that I hope he does is focus on the Cav and not the Nobles. Warp Lightning Cannons need to be eliminating Cav models, not taking away Noble health, because the Nobles, it's one of those things where you can focus on them all battle and never kill them, and then you just realize you wasted the whole battle trying to kill them. Whereas the cavalry, you can definitely try and get them to keep a respectable distance by shooting them down, destroying models, and it looks like he's going to be going for the Lyrian Reaver archers, and going to miss those shots, unfortunately. Over here, Clan Rat Summon going down, Lord Scroll coming out, and Rat Ogres coming out to try to punish these Rangers. I like this play from Felkon, showing a bit of an, aggression towards the High Elves, making them play their hands, and he's going to be pulling back the Rat Ogres, as I think Felkon, going to go in there feeling confident enough with his Silver Helms that he can kill those Rat Ogres. Alright, Warp Lightning Cannons continuing to do their work. Rat Ogres diving into the flank of the Rangers here, doing some nice damage, but Silver Helm's coming in for a nice broadside. We'll see what Skrulk does. He's in a nice position for a Rod of Corruption, that is for sure. And there it goes, that Rod of Corruption hitting a lot of High Elf units, and more Rat Ogres and Clan with Spears coming out to play. Meanwhile, in the back lines, you can see the Lyrian Reaver archers running amok in the back lines, and I'm going to be seeing some nice surrounded charges on top of those Skaven slaves. But the Skaven doing a good job playing defense, setting up their perimeter around the Warp Lightning Cannons, who are still online. And frontline engagements not going the worst for the Skaven at the moment. You can see some of these Rangers terror routing. But it's, oh man, this is going to be a crazy fight, guys. It's going to be on both players to play this just close to perfection. This Noble with the Chariot may be in a bad spot, though. Earthblood going down. I'm sure Star of Averlorn will go down too if absolutely necessary. But it's pinned not only with Rat Ogres, but against one of the artillery crews. And that artillery model is impassable, so we'll see if they can do. But looks like the High Elves are going to bring in a charge here from the Lyrian Reaver archers. And we'll see what happens from there. Looks like we are going to be seeing Cleansing Ruin? What was that going down there? Alright, Star of Averlorn popped on top of the High Elf blob, and that's going to be a bad engagement for the Skaven from there. Up in the frontline engagements, we're going to see the Rangers doing well. They're slowly but surely chewing through the Skaven frontline. The balance of power is now dead even. Going to be seeing this big blob fight just continuing to progress. Looks like the Skaven losing some Rat Ogres and taking a lot of damage, but I don't know. High Elf Cavalry also taking a lot of damage in turn, and these Lyrian Reaver archers and Silver Helms are really looking worse for wear. We'll see if the Council Guard can stay in the fight. It's going to be very important for the Skaven to have them kind of act as the anchor to the Skaven leadership. And all the while, we're going to see the Hellpit Abomination having a field day against these Noble Chariots. This Noble's already reached his healing cap, which is quite a feat for the Skaven. That's the kind of damage they need to be getting down on these units if they hope to kill them through the Alarial healing. Over here, Lyrian Reaver archers doing a good job keeping these Skaven units routing. Nice play from Felkon here. You expect that level of play here for this kind of prize pool, so not letting anything go unaddressed. In the blob combat, we will continue to see how it pans out, but Nobles and Alarial still very healthy, and the Skaven leadership still doing relatively well. The Hellpit Abomination taking some damage, but it can regenerate, and we'll see what it can do right now as it comes over here to the Council Guard. I like this decision so much. Soothsayer needs to keep his heroes and his Hellpit Abomination next to the Council Guard, Storm Vermin, and that will just be a huge boon to their leadership. And it also provides just some really needed meat on the bone of the Skaven forces. Hellpit Abomination just needs to take all the time it can healing up, and we'll see what the Skaven can get going from here. Unfortunately for the Skaven, Felkon, as he does so often and so well, has eliminated the artillery crews. Looks like the Rat Ogres are all routed, and one of them that's regrouping has 5 models left, but looks like the Silver Helms and a Noble are already going out here to address it. So, balance of power going to the High Elves, and maybe staying there for now. However, look at this! A Warp Lightning Cannon going back online. Soothsayer will have the ability to sit back on this Warp Lightning Cannon again as it fires away. And man, he really needs every last thing imaginable to have a chance to win this game. I do think big advantage for the Skaven here that they can be grateful for is there is no ranged units on the High Elf side besides these Lyran Reaver archers. And at this point, I just don't think they have enough models to really eliminate a Hell Pit Abomination here. But they do have enough to get on top of a Warp Lightning Cannon. However, Hell Pit Abomination coming out. Looks like it may be able to get a single charge down. It's causing terror. Over here, Council Guard going down on top of these Rangers. And we're going to see a Clan Rat Summon coming down too. And then we're also going to see the Warlock Engineer, or the Warlock Engineer going in here. And causing that damage over time against these Rangers because of his Warpstone armor. These Rangers did successfully eliminate the artillery piece, but was it worth it, guys? I'm not quite sure. Those guys are probably going to break before the High Elf reinforcements arrive, and that's going to be a little bit of a victory for the Skaven there, getting that early damage down on top of a very threatening unit. Noble and Alariel and High Elf Cap is just kind of sitting on the periphery. It looks like these Clan Rats are moving forward, kind of trying to cause some pressure. Assassin's going to come over here, kill a couple more of those Rangers, but then actually, yeah, never mind. I'm going to turn around and come back this way. Alright, Earthblood going down, healing up the Noble and Alariel. You can see the balance of power going slightly more in favor of the High Elves as a result of that. Hell Pit Abomination getting targeted by the remaining Lyran Reaver archers. And nothing to take lightly. You know, that damage is definitely not something it wants to be dealing with right now. But as long as it can continue to heal up, stay close to its leadership units, it should be okay. Right now, there goes another volley into it. Alariel doing a little bit of a feint attack there, diving in like she's going to do a charge, and now she's actually going to do it. And here comes the Hell Pit Abomination, though, hitting this Noble. Going to focus on eliminating the Noble at the healing cap. I love that pick. If they kill that Noble right now, which it looks like they may, then that's going to be a huge pickup for the Skaven. Clan Rats getting summoned and going down after the Lyran Reaver archers. One of these Nobles has shattered, guys. That's a very big play, but the Hell Pit Abomination is looking really worse for wear. Will they be able to keep it alive right now? It may get its healing popped. That Too Horrible to Die may go down, and that, I have to say, that Rod of Corruption doing a ton of damage to the remaining High Elf units. Alariel continuing to smash into the Hell Pit Abomination, though. Noble has reached his healing cap, and will the Hell Pit have a chance? Oh, there it goes! It healed itself up, and just like that, the balance of power is switching back to Soothsayer. Hell Pit Abomination is whipping Alariel with its tail, smashing the Noble with his front, and the balance of power just like that has gone the complete other way. Clan Rat summons continuing to go down from Skrulk, and my goodness, can the Skaven do it from here, or will Alariel and her remaining Noble have it? Assassin, Lord Skrulk, and the Warlock Engineer are all around Alariel right now. She's taking some significant damage, but now the Noble has dived into combat. Hell Pit Abomination looks like he's trying to rout off the Lyran Reaver archers. Noble now taking a ton of damage, getting some very significant hits. Hell Pit Abomination is down, though, folks. Hell Pit Abomination is down. We're going to see a Skaven Slave come out from its corpse, but that could be what loses the Empire, the Skaven this game here. How do I confuse the Empire for the Skaven? My goodness. Because this Chariot is now going to have really nothing to worry about besides the Assassin if it gets slowed down. But will it be enough to eliminate the remaining Skaven forces? I'm pretty sure both Liber Babonicuses have been used. He still has the Rod of Corruption in his back pocket. I would be surprised if there's any more summons, but what he has working for him is the Noble's at his healing cap already. No more healing from there. So every little bit of damage will matter very much against this Noble. And Alariel is getting close to her healing cap too. Over here, gonna see Assassin's Trophy is down on top of the Noble on his Chariot. Skaven Assassin coming in, trying to get a hit. Skrulk trying to keep the pressure up on top of him too. Rangers have shattered, and now across the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the High Elves have some regrouped Lyran Reaver archers who are wavering already. One unit of Rangers that may be coming back here, but look at this. The Noble on his Chariot taking a ton of damage. He's routing. Will the Skaven be able to kill him, or is he going to come back to fight another day? It looks like he's going to come back to fight another day. But over here, Lord Skrulk and his hero squad now up against Alariel in just hero-to-hero combat. But the Illyrian Reaver archers are coming in, so are the Rangers, and there goes the Warlock Engineer. Lord Skrulk is fighting Alariel the Radiant, but Alariel has his number. She's laying down some serious hurt. Got more Skaven slaves coming into the fight now. Will it be enough to turn the tide? It looks like Alariel's bringing this back into her corner now. The assassin got on top of her, though. That's making her think twice. She's starting to turn around and run the other way, but there she goes. She's just getting up and ready for another charge. The assassin and Lord Skrulk are going into combat against her. Oh my goodness gracious. Can they get the damage down that is needed? The balance of power is dead even. Going to the Skaven once again. Now the Noble is back, though. Can the Skaven deal with this Noble, or will he turn the tide? Oh my goodness, this is so close. The back and forth is just unbelievable at this point, guys. What can either of these players do that they aren't already doing? The Assassin's Trophy going down on top of Alariel the Radiant. Gonna see this Noble with the Chariot continue to stagger Lord Skrulk. The Assassin is going in, getting a huge rear charge on top of the Noble. Skrulk is going for a hit too. Can they eliminate the Noble? 50 HP left, nothing more. Over here, Alariel, now it's her turn to get surrounded and hit by the Skaven leadership. And this could be the end, chat. This could be it. The Council Guard are coming in, and Alariel is stuck on ground, and that is going to be a GG. A very, very close match, and the Skaven gonna win the day. What a game. That, yes. We got ourselves a match, folks. We got ourselves a match. That was a beautiful game. Ah, so close. So, here it is, Soothsayer bringing the Tomb Kings up against Felkon's Vampire Coast, an undead matchup here. And it is round 4 of their best of 7. Felkon up 2-1 at the moment. I've been doing all right, Slayer Strategy. Staying busy, sick of this year. But yeah, doing all right. Hope you've been doing well too, my friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Both players loaded into the map, and let's start with our red player once again, Felkon, with the Vampire Coast. Now, for the Vampire Coast, looks like we're going to have infantry in the form of 1, 2 zombie pirate deckhand mob, and the 1, 2, 3, and 4 zombie pirate deckhand mob with polearms. Other than that, in the front line, we're going to be seeing some zombie pirate deckhand mob, or gunnery mob, sorry, with handguns, and then we're going to see 2 of them with bombs as well. He's going to have 2 carronades here. And then other than those carronades, we are going to have, and just making sure I'm getting everything here, this is a very interesting army. We're going to have 4 deck droppers with bombs, supporting Luther Harkin up in the air on his Terrorgeist. He's an Hornswaggle. And then we have the Vampire Fleet Captain with Invocation from the Heck and the Drowned Dead summon. And that's going to be it. Very interesting Vampire Coast build, to be sure. Now, for the Tomb Kings, we're going to have another interesting army, which is going to consist of skeleton warriors for that front line. Looks like we have 4 of them. Got skeleton spearmen for the second line, once again, with 4 of them. We're going to have a single unit of Nehekara warriors, these dual-wielding skeletons. They should do well against the Vampire Coast infantry. We're going to have Nehekara horsemen in the back lines on either flank. And then we're going to have 2 skeleton chariots. Love them. Going to have a couple skeleton archers, just for a little bit of that mid-range power. And then for the long-range firepower, we do have 2 bone giants and High Queen Khalida on foot. She is going to be sitting here on foot, bringing the blessing of Asaph for that extra base missile damage, armor piercing damage, and reload skill on top of these two bone giants. So this is a constant AoE effect that's going to be giving these bonuses to the bone giants, who are going to be dueling it out against these carronades, and they may honestly win that. So we'll see what happens from here, but the bone giants going to be taking it to the carronades, eliminating one model right there, and we'll see if they can get another model with the future shots here. Invocation to Heck is going down, and the bombers are pushing forward unmolested, trying to get on top of all of this Tomb King infantry. So very curious to see how this works out. These bombs doing some nice work. Oh my goodness, I missed it. There's a net ability here because there's a Lich Priest of Life who I missed. He's going to have that and Shem's Burning Gaze, and already Luther Harkin netted in place, and the bone giants, the archers, and everything just taking shots at him. But both of the bone giants are going to miss their shots while he's pinned in place. Oh, shame for shame. Over here, the Tomb King infantry is advancing. Looks like they're going to go with a hard right flank, and we will see if they can pull that off. Over here, the bombs going against the skeleton archers. Archers doing some good damage, but the bombs look like they're about to get a lot of work done with that most recent volley. And yeah, deck droppers with the bombers doing a lot of good stuff for the Vampire Coast right now. This carronade is down to a single model, and the other one is still firing away at full force. But as long as the bone giants stay alive, that value is going to continue to rack up. These bombers taking a lot of damage, and I think even more concerning for the Vampire Coast right now should be that they are getting completely surrounded by infantry. And Luther Harkin and the bombers are so invested in the backlines here that if they're not careful, they may lose the fight in the front lines before the heroes and the deck bombers can come into the front lines and help destroy this infantry, because the Tomb King infantry is definitely going to outnumber and outmatch the Vampire Coast at this point. Over here, that carronade is completely devoid of all models. This carronade is still firing away at full strength, but eliminating one of the carronades is definitely going to be a huge boon to the Tomb Kings, who have just netted in place all of these bat units, but unfortunately for them, they really don't have any range units to punish them with. But look at these breaths going down from Luther Harkin, and High Queen Khalida has taken a ton of damage. She is getting sniped out of existence. And this is absolutely painful to watch, but we'll see. I think Soothsayer doing the right thing here by running into the back lines to really try to pressure this Vampire Coast army and save the leadership here. High Queen Khalida does look like she's going to go down, though, as she's getting shot and crumbled by Luther Harkin, and there she goes out of existence. Luther Harkin now going to get shot by the Bone Giants as he chases the Lich Priest of Life to kill him off. And then here in the backlines, what's happening, folks? Can the Tomb Kings get enough pressure into the backlines to finish this fight before Luther Harkin comes back? Because once he does, he's going to start eliminating everything in the Tomb King arsenal. Over here, Nehekar warriors diving around in combat, and it just looks like the Tomb Kings are losing the balance of power in a very serious way. The skeleton chariots doing a lot of work, though, and honestly, looking around, you do see that a lot of the Vampire Coast infantry is getting compromised and eliminated here. So can the Tomb Kings do anything from here, or will they go down? And over here, Bone Giants fighting Luther Harkin. Luther Harkin should be able to kill that one off. It is crumbling now, but will he get shot a couple more times before he can finish it off? Here comes another shot. There it goes. It's going to shatter, and Luther Harkin going to take another shot to the face before he can get up into the air. And now he's attacking that Bone Giant, so we'll see how he does. But over here, the skeleton chariots need to keep moving, which it seems like they are doing for now. And if they keep moving, and if they can keep shutting down the Vampire Coast infantry, maybe they have a chance here. Maybe, just maybe, but it's looking to be running out as the bombers are just eliminating so much of the Tomb King infantry right now in the front lines. Luther Harkin fighting this Bone Giant, and the Bone Giant is fighting back, and it's not really too much of a chump by the looks of it. Still has 62 HP, 4,000 more HP than Luther Harkin does, and Luther Harkin is starting to feel that pain. Over here, Nehekar horsemen and the skeleton chariots trying to eliminate more of the Vampire Coast infantry, but I think at this point it's too little too late. And the Vampire Coast has just won themselves a victory as army losses kick in. Hell yeah, Wicked Science. You've missed a few, but there's still at least one more ahead. At least. Soothsayer Skeleton's getting some good work done. Same with the Bone Giant, same with the Narkara Warriors. I really think, for me, in that fight, it was a matter of... trying to think. Yeah, it's a tough one. I would have liked to have seen more units in the back line to protect the Bone Giants and Khalida. And even coming to think of it, I think in hindsight, High Queen Khalida deploying on the left flank in the forest might have been the safest bet. Still close enough to buff the Bone Giants, but in the forest, so the breath attacks are less likely to do so much damage because she got murdered by the breath attacks in Luther Harkin's pistol. So... yeah, I mean, a great game. Those bombers doing a lot of good work for Felkon's build, and it was really just, yeah, Luther Harkin and the bombers flying around in the air that did all that work for them. So, well-played game. Oh, there was 3 carronades. I totally missed that. No wonder the Bone Giants, one of them went down so quickly. How did I miss the 3rd carronade? And the gunnery wipe. Man, I was just being completely oblivious that battle. But, nonetheless, great game. And we'll see what happens. But it is now match point for Felkon. He's up 3-1, chat. If he gets another one, that's 4. And that best of 7 is at that point over. And there's no match afterwards if that happens, because Felkon is in the winner's bracket and still undefeated. Here it is. TlaxtlanSoothsayer bringing Tlaqua up against XMT Felkon's Lizardmen. This is round 5 of their best of 5 final. But it is match point for Felkon, as he is currently up 3-1 on the scoreboard. Now, as it goes for these players' army compositions, let's tune into the fight and see exactly what they've brought for us. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we have TlaxtlanSoothsayer's army. Nice orange and purple coloration on them. And for this army, we're going to have a lot of infantry. So, Saurus Warriors with shields for the front line. Looks like we have 2 Temple Guard. We're going to have some Skink Cohort with Javelins, 1 on either flank, and a 3rd in the center. He's also going to have some Skink Cohort in the back line between the 2 units of Temple Guard. Now, for some of the monstrous units, we're going to have the Umbral Tide Salamander Hunting Pack. These guys can move around unseen with their stock trait and belch fireballs into the enemy formation. We're also going to have 2 Bastillodons with solar engines. Now, other than that, for this army, we're going to have a couple of Chameleon Skinks vanguarded out front to do some early skirmishing. And then we are going to see a Skink Priest of Heavens on the field. Going to have Curse of the Midnight Wind as well as Wind Blast. And then last but never least, we have the Lord of this battle, and it is indeed going to be Tic-Tac-Toe. He is showing up here with his bomb that dropped the Sphere of Tepak. And then he's also going to have his Focus Instincts. Now, that rounds out the Lizardman force for Soothsayer. Time to see what Felkon has brought for us. Now, starting with the infantry, we're going to have 2 Saurus Warriors with shields, backed up by 2 Saurus Spears, and the cohort of Sotek down here. It's going to be supporting, guess what, a Dread Saurian, ladies and gentlemen. Just a feral Dread Saurian here. Got a Slan with a Mage Priest of Life. Going to have Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Blood Statuette of Spite. Or no, sorry, that's the Amulet of Quetzal, I believe. Yeah, R of Quetzal. Regrowth, Earthblood, and Greater Arcane Conduit. And then up in the air, we have Pterodon Riders, people. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them being the ROR Pahak Sentinels. We're also going to have some Razor Dawn hunting pack here from Felkon. It looks like we have 2 of them. one on either flank of this formation. And here we have it. We got ourselves a ball game, chat. I am very curious to see how Soothsayer does this. He has a lot of infantry. He really does. He outnumbers the enemy by quite a lot, more than 2 to 1. But we'll see. With regrowth on the field for Felkon, he should be able to heal through a lot of this damage. Feral Dreadsaurian going to be a very fat target, though, for all of these Bastiladons with solar engines. And Felkon, with his infantry advantage, can afford to maybe shoot some units up early, sacrifice them, try to slow down the advance of Felkon so he has as much time as possible to shoot down his enemy's forces. But he's really going to need to buy that time. Alright, nice shot going on top of the Soar Spears. Looks like Felkon may be opting to just try to eliminate as much of the infantry as possible. I would actually support that decision, honestly. Just destroy as much of the enemy infantry as possible on the approach. That way, the Dreadsaurian is all by his lonesome. If you try to focus on the Dreadsaurian this early in the battle, guess what? Slann Mage Priest, regrowth, boom. All of that damage you got, worthless, you know, value lost. Over here, Umbral Tide is focusing on the Dreadsaurian. I really wanted to see those fireballs going into the cohort of Sotek, to be honest. But I guess he does have enough infantry to drag down the Lizardman infantry anyway, so we'll see what happens. Over here, does see an Earthblood going down on top of that Dreadsaurian very early, like. Saurus Spears taking some serious damage. Solar Engines now turning their attention to the Pterodon Riders, and 2 big hits going down on top of them. But some bombs being shot down on top of the Chameleon Skinks as well. And the Dreadsaurian is coming into play against the Saurus Warriors with shields. Ooh, the Umbral Tide taking some serious damage from these Pterodon Riders. But the Pterodon Riders continuing to get focus fired by the Solar Engines. The Solar Engines doing some mean work. And Felkon, you can see, kind of going hard on the right flank, while Soothsayer is refusing that flank, trying to redress his line and continue that pressure with the ranged power. Over here, Solar Engines continuing to take a lot of damage. Looks like we're going to see them diving into melee combat against the Umbral Tide, really trying to get those guys taken care of by the looks of it. Temple Guard are coming out to engage the Feral Dreadsaurian right now. Over here, going to see Curse of the Midnight Wind upgraded going down and getting a lot of units in it. That's a very key play from Soothsayer with that very powerful debuff spell, which is going to let these Saurus Warriors absolutely trounce their counterparts. Over here, a Banishment, though. A Banishment going down, and what kind of damage is this going to get done? It looks like Soothsayer doing a good job reacting to it, pulling out, and the Temple Guard, very fortunately, did not get caught in it. Otherwise, they would have been a lot of hurt. Tic-tac-toe, chasing away the Pterodon Riders in the air. And now we have the Feral Dreadsaurian in combat with Temple Guard, which it does not want to be in, and we're going to see the Solar Engines focusing on him for right now. Over here, the frontline engagements are being held in place by Tlaxtlan. It looks like a matter of time, though, before Felkon's forces can pull through. Going to see the Feral Dreadsaurian getting rampage for a moment there, but going to see the Cold-Blooded going down on top of them to prevent that rampage from continuing. And yeah, looking across the field of battle, balance of power, dead even. Both players have a lot of tools left in their kit, but I have to say, Tic-Tac-Toe playing some really good MVP for this army, chasing around these Pterodon Riders in the air and preventing them from continuing to pressure his army. However, these Razordon hunting pack still very, very healthy, untouched for the most part, and that's some serious range power that will be deadly in the later game. Temple Guard getting pushed out towards the Razordon hunting pack now. Looks like our Lizardman player here, Soothsayer, recognizing that he needs to eliminate these guys as quickly as possible so they don't snipe them down from a distance. Feral Dreadsaurian going after the Bastiladons with Solar Engines now. I would like to honestly see the focus fire maybe hitting down on the Slann Mage Priest of Life, but Curse of the Midnight Wind continuing to go down. And look at this. It looks like Soothsayer is single-handedly winning this frontline engagement with some very, very nice Curse of the Midnight Winds upgraded going down on the bow onto those combat. That doesn't make sense what I just said, but you know what I mean. So, moving right along, Tic-Tac-Toe chasing the Bahak Sentinels now. Feral Dreadsaurian taking some serious damage, but you still have the Slann Mage Priest of Life here. Very, very healthy. I'm pretty sure has more than enough magic for an Overcast regrowth, which will heal that Dread Saurian right back up to its full potential. Tic-Tac-Toe continuing to chase around the Air Force of Felkon. Felkon's Razordon hunting pack getting chased by the Temple Guard, and they are not enjoying that. Soothsayer doing a good job keeping the pressure up on them so they cannot return. Frontline engagement still going okay for Tlaqua. Feral Dread Saurian starting to take some serious damage, but there goes a banishment. This banishment did some mean work to the Saurus Warriors with shields, but it looks like it's now going to veer off into no man's land and leave them unscathed from there on. Now, Feral Dread Saurian reached its healing cap almost, so you can see it coming into range, and there goes a... Oh my goodness. Oh, there goes the Cold-Blooded, and that is going to prevent it from rampaging, prevent it from routing. But man, they're taking some serious damage on top of this Feral Dread Saurian right now. Tic-Tac-Toe and the Razordon hunting pack are coming around the flank, trying to support this Dread Saurian. But this Slann Mage Priest of Life is going to be able to throw down a fat regrowth any moment now. And I think that Dread Saurian is going to come right back into combat effectiveness. But Tic-Tac-Toe getting on top of this. Oh my god. This is crazy. Razordon hunting pack getting attacked by the Chameleon Skinks. Tic-Tac-Toe and the Pahak Sentinels. Feral Dread Saurian is getting a regrowth sometime soon. He has to be. Oh my god, he's routing. This is an opportunity for Soothsayer. He may not be able to kill it, especially if we have a regrowth on top of it. But if he keeps chasing it, he could potentially take it off the map regardless of it getting health back or not. And he has the tools to do that with Tic-Tac-Toe. We have both of the the Bastillodons with the Solar Engines now going to be attacking the Slann Mage Priest of Life. But he has to keep the pressure on top of this Feral Dread Saurian. Tic-Tac-Toe is up in the air, killing off these Pterodon Riders like an absolute MVP. Chameleon Skinks and Skink Cohort are chasing down these Razordon hunting pack units. This Razordon hunting pack is coming back into range, though, and going to be in a very scary spot. Slann Mage Priest coming after the Feral Dread Saurian, trying to get on top of them, and it looks like we're going to see the Bastillodons with the Solar Engines trying to go over this little hump and get on the other side so they can continue shooting that Feral Dread Saurian. But the Feral Dread Saurian is getting chased by Tic-Tac-Toe right now, and he might be able to chase him off the map. It's coming up quick, guys. If he can kill this Feral Dread Saurian, I think Soothsayer has pulled this off. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing a Felkon victory. But man, oh man, this is coming down to the wire. And look at this. Razordon hunting pack getting attacked by Chameleon Skinks in the rear. And Feral Dread Saurian still getting routed. Soothsayer doing some nice micro there. You can see him pulling him this way just a bit so he can box him out. And the Feral Dread Saurian is off the map, folks. It is off the map. It is gone for good. And the balance of power is now going over to Soothsayer ever so slightly. And now that Tic-Tac-Toe doesn't have to worry about any other flyers on the field, I think he can just continue to hunt down these Razordon hunting pack and win it from there. This is absolutely a crazy match. Temple Guard coming into play. Razordon hunting pack going to get stuck in combat with Skink Cohort with jabs, and then the Temple Guard going to be backing them up. And on the ground, you know, you can see that Tic-Tac-Toe just has the momentum going. This is a crazy match. Oh my god. And heal works, it does work if they're routing, to answer that question I saw in the chat. Like, Tic-Tac-Toe being crazy useful right here. Earthblood going down on top of the Razordon hunting pack, but, you know, Tic-Tac-Toe is pinning him in place and hitting him in the rear now. Bastillodons with the Solar Engines are getting into combat, and, yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe going to get back up in the air and to safety. This is such a crazy battle. Shield of the Old Ones has been popped, going down right now. Tic-Tac-Toe getting in combat with those Razordon hunting pack. Nonetheless, we're going to see the Bastillodon with the Solar Engine going in there, getting a nice terror route. And there goes a terror route on top of these Saurus Warriors too. And it's just going to Soothsayer here. It's going to Soothsayer. Unless the Slann Mage Priest can solo everything by himself, Felkon's actually going to concede defeat. And look at that, round 5 going to TlaxtlanSoothsayer. Holy... Oh, that was beautiful. What a great game. Holy hell. Yeah, guys, I see you in the chat. That was a great game. That was a good damn game. That was impressive indeed. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he did heal him at some point, because I did see his healing cap approaching, so I imagine he did heal it, but wow. This is the Ogham Shard Shetland Apache, but man, what a good game. TlaxtlanSoothsayer. That was awesome. Wow. I mean, Tic-Tac-Toe may not have done a ton of, like, kills, but, like, he was so valuable in that game. Just single-handedly with the help of skirmishers and solar engines, of course, so not single-handedly. It was a team effort, but he just eliminated these Pterodon riders. And then he chased the Dreadsaurian off the map. That was beautiful. Nothing to kill Tic-Tac-Toe. Oh, I love these players. So here it is, guys. Round 6. Like I say, disregard that. TlaxtlanSoothsayer with the Dark Elves taking on XMT Felkon with the Norskins. A little bit stuttery there for the intro card, but you get the gist. Now the map is going to be Tower of Hoeth. Nice, big, open, balanced map. And neither one of these factions really big forest factions, so imagine we'll have an out-in-the-open type of engagement. Now, let's go ahead and start this time around with Soothsayer. And, oh wait, no, just kidding, we started with Soothsayer last time. So let's start with Felkon, who actually has quite a significant edge in that balance of power. Now, for his army, we're going to have 4 Marauder Horsemen up front. We're going to have Marauders, and it looks like 5 of them. Somebody said something about Frost Trolls, and wow. You won't be disappointed. We do see 2 units of Frost Trolls on the field of battle. We're also going to see Skin Wolves on the right flank here. And some more Skin Wolves on the left flank, so it looks like we're going to have 3 total Skin Wolves. Now for the leadership, which will round this army out, we're going to have a Femir Belfiend of Shadows. Femir Belfiend will have Penumbral Pendulum, Enfeebling Foe, along with Arcane Conduit. And then we're going to end the Scroll of Shielding. We also have Throggy Boy here with the Winter's Helm. Is that what it's called? Or am I misremembering? The Wintertooth Crown, as well as Fight or Die. And I saw another Femir Belfiend. Aha! There you are, you sneaky little amphibian. I'm going to have a Belfiend of Fire. And this Belfiend of Fire literally has nothing on him. So I'm just going to bring a naked Femir Belfiend of Fire. So I'm probably looking for that triple hit power in terms of the hero squad. Now for the Dark Elves, going to have 2 units of repeater crossbows up front. 1, 2, 3 units of Black Orc Corsairs with handbows. Going to have Dread Spears, looks like 5 of them. And then we're going to have 4 Cold One Knights, 2 on either flank. For the heroes, we're going to have a Sorceress of Beast with the Manticore summon, as well as Flock of Doom. And then we're also going to see Malice Darkblade. Oh boy. Malice Darkblade going to be riding his Cold One into battle, and he is going to have the Blood Price, Demonic Curse, and Sarkhan, of course. So, Black Orc Corsairs trading well so far with the Marauder Horsemen. Their armor at 80 is going to be very nice against it, but look at this Penumbral Pendulum coming down. Going to hit these guys and do quite a lot of damage. Not as much damage as could have been possible because Soothsayer had some nice reaction there in terms of getting that formation to not take the full brunt of the impact from the Penumbral Pendulum. Over here, Skin Wolf's getting targeted by the Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows. And yeah, some nice damage going down from the Dark Elf skirmishing force so far. Soothsayer doing a masterful job of refusing this flank, and Felkon is just going ham. He's gunning for it. He is pushing so hard on this right flank, and Soothsayer is refusing it so hard and just continues to pivot. And look at this blob of infantry that has started to form up, and Soothsayer could potentially, you know, try to rush in with a few infantry units and tie up most of the Marauder Berserkers, or sorry, most of the Norskin Marauders, but this right flank is still coming in hard, and we're going to see Dread Spears coming out to try and address it, and getting in combat here with Skin Wolves and the Marauder Horsemen. Gonna see the Manticore summon going down. Malice Darkblade diving into Throg. And we'll see what happens from here. Cold One Knights look like they're getting ready to commit into combat as well. They're feeling okay. Over here, the Demon's Curse minus 16 leadership, minus 24 melee defense is going down. Fight or Die also going down to help counter it. But we have a lot of Cold Ones diving into combat here. But they're taking a lot of damage. And here comes another Penumbral Pendulum. Going to do some mean work, I'm sure, to those Cold One Riders. Manticore is just sitting in the air. It is not getting engaged anywhere so far. And Malice Darkblade is getting smashed by Throggy Boy and all of his friends. This Manticore summon needs to get into combat. It's still just sitting there. It looks like it got the memo. Diving into combat now, and Sarkhan has been popped. And we're going to see Bloodstorm on top of him. And the Manticore going in. Does look like the hand bows over here are still alive and well. Still able to pour in plenty of ammunition. Second Manticore summon has been popped, and Terror is kicking in now. And look at the tide turn. Balance of power going back to dead even as these Manticores get some nice Terror droughts on top of the Skinwolves. And the Norskins, a lot of their units are breaking and fleeing right now, but they can regroup, they can come back. The Skinwolves have regeneration, so this battle is far from over. And Sarkhan, now that he has been transformed, is going to be on a timer. And if he doesn't finish this off soon, he's going to be dying slowly but surely. But look at those, some huge hits on top of Throggy Boy. We're going to see more missiles going into him. Sarkhan is diving into these ice trolls. Manticore summon is going to stay on top of Throg. Throg is getting terror routed. And oh my goodness gracious here, the Dark Elves seem to be coming back with a vengeance. Can they finish off Throggy Boy? And if they can they bring this fight their way? But look at this, a massive Penumbral Pendulum about to go into both of those, those Black Orc Corsairs. They were trying to do something, but it just didn't work out for him. But here comes a huge fat block of doom. Terror kicking in across the board. Sarkhan losing a lot of health, but he is still going for it. And if they can kill off Throg and keep this route going, Cold One Knights are diving in, and that means they could keep the Norskins running, and that could mean a GG. Can the Dark Elves pull this off, or will the Norskins start to regroup again? Looks like we have a lot of Cold One Knights diving in here, trying to keep the pressure on top of these fools. Sarkhan is running out of time, though. We're going to see Marauder Horseman pinning him in place. LP Samurai, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. This battle is just blowing my mind. But Sarkhan, he's almost out of health. He's going to die soon. But will it even matter? Will the Norskins be able to regroup and do anything? Or are they just going to get chased down by these Cold One Knights and the repeater crossbows? We see that the Black Orc Corsairs with handbows are continuing to keep that pressure up too. But now, Throggy Boy is back into the fight. Dread Spears are chasing him, but there's no more Manticore summons, and the balance of power is starting to go right back to dead even, and the Norskins look like they're not out of this fight yet, chat. A lot of good pressure here from Soothsayer. He's just continuing to keep the pressure up on all of these routing units, and he absolutely needs to do that. He cannot afford to let any of these guys come back, especially now that his hero is dead, and the Norskin leadership is going to be regenerating with Throg the Troll. Cold One Knights coming after Frost Trolls. I don't know if they should do that. They should maybe just peel out of there. Get out of there and not worry about it. But, you know, getting some good damage on the rear charge. But here comes some Skinwolves to support the Frost Trolls. But the Frost Trolls are going to start routing right there. So look at me getting proven wrong. And over here, a lot of these routes are turning into Shatters. Cold One Knights doing beautiful work for Soothsayer right now. Over here, going to see a lot more Dread Spears regrouped coming into the fight. I want to see the Dark Elves kind of just abandon this fight altogether and continue chasing out these routing units. There are some Norskin Ice Trolls on the periphery of the map, and a strong breeze could rout them off of it. And that would be something that you want to pick up, especially at this stage of the game. But look at this. We have the Skirmishers coming into play. Dread Spears routing those horsemen off, and more Dread Spears being poured into this fight. And these repeater crossbows have a chance right now to just really snipe down the Norskin leadership. Nice block of doom going down. More Dread Spears getting poured in there. Black Orc Corsairs sitting on the peripheries to pour in some supporting fire. And yeah, this could be what breaks the Norskins, but Dark Elves really got to get that focus fire down in a hurry if they want to finish these fools off. Dread Spears Looking like they're going to go down for the count. They've done their work. They've pinned these guys in place long enough, but will the Dark Elves be able to capitalize, or are we about to see a Norska resurgent coming into this late game now, guys? Black Orc Corsairs getting chased by Throg. Throg taking a lot of damage from their fire. Got some units over here that may be able to snipe Throg down even further. He's at 860 HP. Cold Ones are regrouping. The Norscan Ice Trolls are regrouping. Cold One Knights are going into head-to-head charge against them. Rampage kicking in. Throggy boy still healing up. He's at 700 HP. Can the Dark Elves snipe him out of existence? If they kill Throg, I think this game is over. What a damn close fight, though. So he's down to 700 HP. Cold One Knight sitting on the flanks, on the wings, ready to dive in and help pin things in place. Oh my god. What a series this is turning into, guys. I think Soothsayer can win this round and bring it to a round 7. Alright, Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows chasing down the Norscan Ice Trolls. Marauders getting eliminated by Dread Spears, Black Orc Corsairs. Fight or Die has just been popped. Looks like the Norseman's going in for a last hurrah here, going after that Sorceress to Beast. Throg continuing to heal up the Stubborn Bastard. Flock of Doom going down. Balance of power going significantly in favor of the Dark Elves at this point. And we're even going to see... Oh no, the Sorceress of Beast is getting smashed right now, though. Every little last bit of ammunition going into Throg right now. Looks like we have Dread Spears getting sent into the fight. Going to see army losses kicking in. And holy shit. What a series between these two legends of the game. Soothsayer getting warmed up and just pulling off these games. Holy hell. Wow. I love looking at the chat and seeing everybody like, oh, Throg just gonna win this. Throg just gonna win this. Tic-tac-toe, then Malice Darkblade. Soothsayer, a man of the people, coming in with the meme picks and pulling them off. That was a beautiful game. Nice army except for Malice. I mean, yeah, Malice got work done, though. I'll give him that. Holy hell, what a game. All the regeneration in Felkon's Norscan army here was what made me think that they were going to win this in the long haul. I mean, you have 2 Trolls that regen, 3 Skin Ulcer regen, Throg that regens. I just thought he was going to heal through it and come back for the victory, but Soothsayer not letting them breathe, doing a really, really good job routing those units off the map and making sure they did not come back. That was just beautiful gameplay from both of these fine players, and just like that, Soothsayer's going to tie it up 3-3. So this is match point for both players in this best of 7. If Soothsayer wins, he triggers sudden death, and if Felkon wins, then it's game over, boys and gals. So let's see what happens. Old King versus New King. All right, let's go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We got TlaxtlanSoothsayer with the Vampire Coast going to be going up against Felkon's Wood Elves. This is match point for both players with this best of 7. If Felkon wins, GG to him. The tournament is over, and he is the Season 6 Undisputed Champ, bringing home $600. If it is TlaxtlanSoothsayer with the Vampire Coast, he triggers a sudden death match. So, only time will tell. But let's go ahead and check out what they have brought for us to see in this final round of their best of 7. Let's start off with Felkon here. Now, for his army, we're going to be seeing a lot of Deepwood Scouts. Looks like at least 5 of them. So 5 Deepwood Scouts going to be on the field. Just checking to see if they're all generic, and they are. We're going to have 3 Dryads. Looks like we're going to have a single Wild Rider out here on the left flank. And then for the infantry, besides those Dryads, we're going to have Eternal Guard. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these bad boys. Looks like 2 with shields and 2 without. Now, other than the units, let's see what they've brought as far as heroes go. We do see a Branch Wraith, Penumbral Pendulum, Earthblood, and Call of the Wood. We're going to see Waystalker here with Arrow of Kurnos, as well as Hawkish Precision. And then up in the air, looks like we have a Glade Lord, Prey of Anathrema, and the Arrow of Kurnos. Looks like these Arrow of Kurnos is going to be used to try and counter any potential artillery the Vampire Coast may have on the field. Looking at the balance of power, the Wood Elves will start with a slight advantage. But now time to check out the numerically superior Vampire Coast, being brought by TlaxtlanSoothsayer with 3 Zombie Pirate Deckhand up front. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob with pole arms spread out around the back. Have Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob, and we're going to have 1, 2 units of mortars, and then a 3rd artillery piece here being a carronade. Going to have some Scurvy Dogs in the center to play defense, 3 deck droppers with bombs up in the air, and then we are going to also see some crabs. We got a Crab Rave. Going to have the Lamprey's Revenge, as well as another unit of Rotting Promethean Gunnery Mob. So these guys do have armor-piercing shots that can be used to pressure that Glade Lord up in the air, and we'll see how they do. Now for the leadership, aha! Thought I was missing some leadership, but there it is. Arrows of Kurnos are going down right now. Looks like going right into the carronade crew rather than the artillery pieces, so going to see the Vampire Coast dodge a bullet there so far. Invocation of Heck being cast down by our Lord Count Noctilus, who's on foot. Captain Roth's Moon Dial is going to be on top of him, as well as Wraithstorm, Arcane Conduit, Invocation of Heck, and the Drowned Dead. Going back to this carronade, it does look like one of the cannon models has been eliminated by that 2nd Arrow of Kurnos. Now, once again, going to be seeing Soothsayer just kind of moving to, match his opponent. Felkon, this time around, pushing very hard on the left flank rather than the right flank. You can see that's where the majority of his firepower is. And I like his approach here, kind of, shifting angles of approach, because then he can keep a lot of his units hidden here in the forest as he approaches to protect them from the artillery fire. In particular, the mortars do suffer when they're firing into trees, as a lot of their ammo will just explode on top of the trees before it can hit the ground. Oh no, it does look like auto fire is on, and they may have been targeting the Glade Lord, which is just a crying shame to see, as those mortars are not going to get any value targeting a dragon in the air. Alright, Noctilus and some Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob going out up front, just kind of feeling confident, going to stay up there. The Waystalker and the Glade Lord are both sniping down the carronade with their bow fire. We'll see if they can eliminate another one of the artillery pieces soon here. Over here, mortars getting targeted by an Arrow of Kurnos, but all 3 of their models are going to survive so far. Handguns are moving forward, putting down some pressure on top of the Glade Lord, and my apology, those are just a regular gunnery mob, not the handgun armor-piercing variant. Here comes a breath from the Glade Lord. Going to do some nice damage. Maybe a bit premature. I'm not sure if I like it this soon in the battle, but still getting some good damage done nonetheless, and the Glade Lord is going to abandon the chase after doing that breath. Over here, bombs are coming in after the Dryads. So far, it looks like the Deepwood Scouts have kept their presence hidden. Gunnery Mob taking a Penumbral Pendulum, and that's going to do a lot of damage. And now the Deepwood Scouts focus firing these deck drummers. I thought that volley was going to do a lot more damage, to be honest, but it still is making him think twice, keep a respectable distance. Over here, Count Noctilus and some Rotting Prometheans with Gunnery Mob on their backs are going to be diving forward into the Dryads, and looks like they're just going hard, trying to shut those guys down quickly. Over here, the pole arms going to be moving forward. We see this Deckhand Mob kind of making the ultimate sacrifice, pinning these guys in place, buying time. maybe creating some opportunity for the mortars to strike, but I think the mortars are now more worried about the Deepwood Scouts they see coming into sight. Over here, Dryads eliminated. Count Noctilus looking like he's going to get the snipe on the Waystalker, but the slippery Waystalker has escaped and is being microed back towards the forest. We will see if he can make that escape or if the Rotting Promethean Gunnery mob come after him. Over here, Scurvy Dogs are pushing forward with the bombers as well, and I have to say I like Soothsayer's play here. He is now pushing hard on the left flank in the same manner that Felkon is on his right flank. So Felkon's left flank pushing in hard here, getting ready to shut down these mortars, but you can see he's really leaving back a skeleton crew to defend the artillery. I think at this point he recognizes that he may have the opportunity to win the melee engagements and then just keep the pressure going nonstop on top of the Deepwood Scouts from there. Lamprey's Revenge coming forward, Deck Droppers coming forward. The armor on the Rotting Prometheans definitely going to be a huge help here, and it looks like the bombers are now going to be focusing on the Eternal Guard. Balance of power still in favor of the Wood Elves, but we'll see how this battle progresses. Over here, Prey of Anathema going down on top of the Lamprey's Revenge. I mentioned earlier that they have good armor at 120. They also have regeneration, so we'll see if they can survive this. The Glade Lord has taken some serious damage, but, you know, is now getting in a position where we'll see if she does a melee charge into the Lamprey's Revenge just to get some extra damage, and it looks like she's going to get in for a nicely timed Earthblood. Lamprey's Revenge needs to get moving, get on out of here. But it looks like, you know, they could get eliminated here. They are crumbling out of existence. They are well in range of all of these archers. There's no invocation to heck down on top of them yet. Blade Lord is chasing, and we'll see what happens. There they go, healing back up, getting close to 2,000 HP, and I think they'll be able to survive that because now the Vampire Coast should be able to close the gap in a couple of other spots. Oh man, never mind, the Shatterer going in. Glade Lord making her presence known, saying, nuh-uh, you are going to not survive this engagement, and honestly, that could be a game-deciding play, as those Rotting Prometheans were going to be very, very important to the overall effort here of the Vampire Coast, and that's a serious loss for them to have to take this early in the battle here, just crossing over the 5-minute mark now. Alright, Deckhand mobs pushing forward to engage these Dryads, who are taking a lot of damage from the mortar so far. Artillery still getting some good work in there, but you know, right now the Wood Elves have so much ammunition that oh my goodness, TlaxtlanSoothsayer is conceding defeat? Yeah, I think he called it from there. I think he recognized that he was going to get shot to death. But man, yeah, great game. Hell Damned 01, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Yeah, this is, to me, one of the best series of all time. It was such a good series. And even this battle, although it was short and, you know, Soothsayer did throw in the towel a bit earlier than I thought he would, I think it was good judgment on his part. In like hindsight, I think he's just recognizing, like, this isn't going to go my way in the long run. I don't have anything in particular to deal with the Glade Lord. But maybe premature, I'm not sure, but I just trust that he probably knew when to throw in the towel, and he's not a player to get tilt and quit early. But yeah, great games. But you know, that last game too, Noctilus getting a very nice play, shutting down Dryads with some Rotting Prometheans, sniping down the Waystalker for a lot of damage. But in the late game there, just looks like the Deepwood Scouts, once they started coming into play, just a bit too powerful. And that Prey of Anathema on top of the Lamprey's Revenge, yeah, that really was the game-changing decision, and I think that's a huge factor and probably the factor that led to Soothsayer conceding there. So, awesome series. Let's go see what it's like in the chat between these two players. On that note, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, the new subscribers, the donators, as well as all of the new followers, and most of all the players, of course, because they show up and play these games and sacrifice their time to train and bring such high-level play for us. And then a huge thank you to all of my admins, Romulan Dog, who I was hoping we'd see today in the co-chat, but no worries, it happens. And then, you know, Iron Thunder in particular does a ton for the adminning, and Wicked Science always doing a ton to spread the word of the community. Shetland Apache for founding the core rules of this wonderful game in the multiplayer scene. Eric Krastic for the banner rule set. And thank you guys. Just, yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really a pleasure doing this. Thanks to all of y'all and the wonderful support you throw my way. So, on that note, was there anything else I had to say? No, just follow the YouTube. Make sure you check out that YouTube. And if you're feeling so inclined to donate to the prize pool for Season 7, I'll update MooBot soon. Feel free to do so at that link or by subscribing. Now, don't forget to hit that follow button if you enjoyed today's series. And if you didn't enjoy today's series, I really can't help you. Guess the games are just not for you at that point, because that was one of the best of 7s I've ever seen, and actually the only best of 7 I've watched, probably. So, yeah. Thanks for a wonderful season, everyone. My son HW going to be signing out from here, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield. Bye. Y'all are the best.